I already got somebody. I said the other day, I was like, well, it's not going to rain like that again. And his comment section was like, would he shut up already? It's jinxing everything we do. So I won't go there. But I think the farm's going to be just fine.
I think it would be pretty easy to have more women, more great female artists on this lineup.
Jake of the Ruham guys was almost violent in his hate for this.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah. Welcome back to the What Podcast. It is December, middle of December. We'll just leave it there. We won't go with days and time, but it's the middle of December. We're a couple of weeks away from the lineup being announced at Bonnaroo. We are back. I'm Barry. That's Russ. That's Brian. Sitting next to Brian, you guys that have been watching for a while will recognize Beth. Hi, Beth.
Hi.
You're not on the West Coast. You're right there. So welcome to Chattanooga.
Thank you. I'm in the middle on the way to the east.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you traverse the entire continent, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
We have lots to talk about, including why Beth is in town. And obviously some Bonnaroo news, some other festival news, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the unbelievable number of entry to our contest for 2 tickets to Bonnaroo with camping. So we'll do that in a little while. I thought maybe it might be a good idea to just spend a few minutes talking about who we are and why we are doing this. We started this podcast in 2018. Brian has been to every single one in some form or another, not like from start to finish for each one, but you technically have been to all of them.
Yeah, that first one, I jumped the fence for a couple hours for widespread panic and used my Nokia phone to, the block Nokia to call people. Can you believe where I'm at? Oh, my God, I can't believe I just jumped the fence. And then I went up to Nashville for the rest of the night. So I was there, not for long, but I did see Panic that year.
Same with me. I was there that first day, but I was there in my official capacity as a reporter for the Chattanooga Times Free Press because we heard about this horrible traffic jam between Chattanooga and Nashville, and so they sent me in a photographer, and I went, got in, and thought, this is really cool. I'd like to come back. But then I realized it was a camping festival, and I realized I was in my mid-40s and had no camping gear and didn't want to sleep on the ground. So I went home and let younger reporters go for the next 3 or 4 years. But I've been every year since 2007 and just fell in love with it, as we all have. 2018, I was at having lunch on the regular with a guy named Brad Steiner, who is a radio host. As we like to tease him, he did sports and weather updates, but he actually was program director. Traffic reporter. Yeah. We casually one day said I said Facebook Live while we're at the event. His eyes lit up, and he called me the next day and said, we're going to start doing a podcast. I already have a name. I have a format. I've got design. Nick Turner did a lot of the graphic design for us. All of this, Russ, in a day or two?
Yeah. It all came together pretty quickly.
Yeah, and along those lines, he said, I got a guy named Lord Taco who's going to do basically the production and does the web design and the web building. And I'm like, what's a Lord Taco? And we had never met, and probably didn't for a while, actually. But we started this thing in 2018 with the premise that we didn't really know a lot of the acts on the lineup. And so we thought, well, let's do a deep dive into some of those acts and talk about them. And we'll do that for a couple of months, and then that'll be that. And here we are 9 years later, 9 seasons later. So we do it every week, which is stunning. Just as stunning is the fact that we're still doing it. We were the first. We reached out to the Bonnaroo people, and they said, we love the idea. We'll help you however we can. You can't use Bonnaroo in your name, and you can't use any of our graphics, but otherwise, we're all in. So
And it wasn't long after that they started their own podcast.
Yeah,
in
they stole their
response
idea.
yeah,
with John Norris from
Mm-hmm.
MTV, like the early '90s. Not early '80s. The beginning of it, but the '90s most popular time. Kurt Loder, Tabitha Soren,
Right.
and
Matt Pinfield.
Matt Pinfield, and Norris, and they had Norris come in. And they did like 8 episodes and then fizzled out and died. And
Yeah.
I was involved with you guys on the periphery, and I was just like,
yeah.
didn't work. It's pretty hard,
Yeah.
isn't it, Byron? It's very difficult stuff, right?
It is hard. And yeah, Brian, as he kind of alluded to just then, has been was a regular early on, especially with like lineup day releases and stuff like that. We would have Brian on as a guest, and then Brad moved first to New Orleans, and then he moved to New York. We hit COVID, and his job and life changed, and so Brian came on board as his replacement. 3 years ago? I'm
Just
terrible.
about.
with this. I
3
think
years,
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we
about.
expanded into video as well. We changed this from an audio podcast to audio and video.
Time flies and ain't got a thing to do with whether you're having any fun or not, right?
Well, and it's funny. The video component is what forced Russ to suddenly be not only on camera but on microphone, because your intention was to be off camera, right? You never intended to have to
Yeah,
speak.
you guys are the hosts. I mean, I was just
Yeah.
in the background helping put all this together. But yeah, since we're doing it over video calls and Zoom and stuff like that in the beginning, it just made sense that I'm on screen with you guys.
Yep. And 3 years ago, we met Beth, coincidentally, and the guys, the dudes, your campmates from Nashville. You live, as I said earlier, live on the West Coast, but you have how many years? It's a lot longer than I think.
I started in 2004, and
Yeah.
I only missed 2018.
Yeah. And so started camping next to us, and obviously you and Brian, well, I won't speak for you, but have a relationship because of Bonnaroo. So I can't imagine what that long distance relationship, but you're making it work.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, check back with me on another podcast. You'll hear more about it.
All right, so I think that brings us up to speed. You are, Beth, you came into town because Chattanooga had its annual MAINx24 event, right? That is I guess the number one reason you're here is to see the dumbass sitting next to you, but the bait, I guess, besides this was MAINx24, right? So you came, you guys went to that. Russ drives his Westphalia every year as in part of the parade. So you guys did that. You also, I think you said you went to a concert at the Caverns the other night, right? Portugal the Man.
Yeah, I'll let Beth speak that quickly, or as much as you want. It was just kind of fell on that same time frame, trying to figure out the best time for her to come during the time off period here at the end of the year. And it was like, well, we got our annual party, and then, hey, Portugal the Man, which I've become a huge fan of. That's the best sound I've gotten in the Caverns, in the cave, to date. We've been up there a lot now, and they have the amphitheater stage outside, which is completely different setup, and sonically it's completely different. In the cave, it's a little hit or miss. You're in a cave.
Sure.
So it's tough to make that sound perfect or great every time. It sounded really good. The only note to the show I'll give is that it was an interesting set list layout. They have a new album out, and they played damn near the entire thing to open the show, about 2/3 of it. Just boom, 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 boom. And I don't know the music well enough, so I didn't know that for sure that's what they were doing. And then he was like, okay, well, and he had this whole thing about how he finally got off Atlantic Records, and like he's free. And he was very happy about not being on Atlantic Records anymore. And I guess part of that was, and I'm just going to play the whole new album for you. Here you go. And then they played a whole nother a set and a half of all the old throwback classics. But
I know a lot of people listening are not from Chattanooga, so you're not going to know MAINx24, but it's basically a 24-hour neighborhood block party that features all kinds of stuff. And so it's probably similar to what you have in your area, which is why I think we're going to spend just a little bit of time talking about it. But what were the highlights again this year? You got pretty good weather, right?
Fantastic
It's a little chilly,
weather.
but yeah, beautiful.
It was chilly, but it wasn't rainy. It seems like about every other year it rains hard on MAINx24. So any year with no rain, I consider that good weather.
Yeah, it was quite chilly to start the day, but sun came out. Felt like the burners were turned on with just a little bit of sun. It was nice. I mean, it really is. If you didn't know any better, which most of you don't because you're not from here, it's just a big block party. But that's kind of feels like it's kind of sliding the event, like calling it just a big block party because it has become so popular, and it is one of those. It's kind of if you want to be seen place, right? It's got, and I mean that in all the best ways. Like, you're not as cool as you think you are if you're not somehow feeling like you're involved with this a little bit. So it's really grown. It's the 17th year. Started in an area of town that was in need of revitalization. Some would call it gentrification, whatever you want to call it. It needed that. It got that over the last 17 years. And this event was kind of designed to help push that forward. And now it's the hip happening area of our town. It's the place that you want to be if you're, I don't know, what do you say, 25 to 55, basically the target demographic for selling people stuff, 25, 55.
Yeah, it's the creatives. That's the word that they used when they started it.
Such an overused word. Sorry, go ahead.
I think the parade is probably the signature event. It gets bigger every year. It's almost too big.
It's too damn big. It wouldn't end.
It was 2 hours. 2 hours
Wow.
of going 5 miles an hour.
Yeah,
which is not easy to do in a straight shift with a clutch, but
yeah, that is the worst.
There's a few people that we know and some that we don't. We're figuring out that are waiting on Russ's bus in this parade, primarily to get a free Jello shot and a beer out of the deal because we do pretty good on supplying those. And a few of them were just like, "Oh, I'm always looking for you guys. You got a PBR?" And then there's a lot of people we know that are waiting on us. And a few times I'm like, "Are y'all in the parade? Where are you? I have been out here all morning and I haven't seen you yet."
Yeah, we were towards the back of the parade. So
end.
yeah, and 2 hours, and they live streamed it too. I don't know if you all saw that. There's a whole video recap of it with commentary.
God. I don't want to bore our audience with this, but I have to shortly. One of the MCs of that, Barry, was our buddy Sean Phipps.
Nice.
Doing this. It was 2 hours of him and just some other guy like narrating this kind of thing. I don't envy that job.
No.
I don't envy it. Sean's good, but boy, he was making jokes like, "Oh my God, when does this thing end?"
Yeah, I can only imagine because he goes down that back alley quickly. I can't imagine 2 hours of it. So,
and okay, we got the bus, the fantastic.
Here's
buses.
something I'd like to make love in one of those things.
I don't believe you should be able to say that on.
No. I mean, not to one of them. I want to experience love in a Volkswagen. I feel like that's the ultimate 1970s experience.
But the Jello shots have become of the signature event, as I think correctly Russ puts it. The Jello shots have become the signature handout, I guess, or the
candy for the kids, Jello shots for the adults.
Yeah. They get a little. They get a little needy and greedy. I'm like, hey, hold on. Can I get 3 more? Get out of here, man. What is this?
We still have an hour and a half left to go in this parade. We got to ration all this.
So it's all in good fun, but we had.
And I do want to shout out somebody on the street saw us and I heard him say, "Love the podcast." So thank you.
Oh, that's right.
Awesome.
Didn't catch who it was, but we got local fans too. So appreciate that very much.
Yeah, sometimes we have a hard time getting our own town to recognize that we exist.
Which we like.
When it comes to publications that give the best podcasts of the city, they tend to forget that we're here. But hey, we appreciate that very, very much.
All right, we had other news. Jazzfest announced its lineup.
Yeah, I mean, Jazzfest kind of does it again. It's the top line doesn't do a whole lot for me. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up. I didn't have it ready, but
Well, you skipped over the Lillian show.
Yeah, we
before
did.
we head into Jazzfest.
Alluded to that.
That's my buddy Travis Knight, who also does the artwork for the poster for MAINx24 this year, and put me on the poster, which I appreciate.
Oh, nice.
Also, your nephew Graham is in the band. It's kind of become a tradition now that they play the MAINx24 show at Boneyard, which is technically not on Main Street, but close enough.
Yeah, it's a block off thereabouts. Yeah. So, yeah, how was the show?
Show was great. They played, I think they're working on a new album. They played a couple new songs that I hadn't heard. What'd you guys think?
Oh, we didn't make it.
You didn't make it?
That was the end of the end of the night was around 4 or 5 o'clock once the sun set, and I was getting cold.
Oh, it's just getting started.
That's the truth.
Yeah, I flew overnight on Thursday. I got like 15 minutes of sleep, so it was a little hard to hit the ground running when we first got here. But
well, you have to do better next year. And then the chili cook-off.
Yeah.
Did you guys make it to that?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they were almost out of chili by the time we got there.
Excellent. I had six chilies. 6 great chilies, so perfect for that type of day.
They have like a pancake breakfast and then the chili cook-off and then big wheel races and don't they still do dog parades too?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there's dogs in the parade for sure. They need to save some chili because the parade was so long that by the time we got out of it and parked and made it to the chili cook-off, most everybody was out of chili. Nice. But they start at like 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Cooking chili.
All right. Jazzfest?
Yeah, so the top, Eagles, Stevie Nicks, Rod Stewart. You get started there. It's like, Rod Stewart.
Yeah, what is this, 1980?
Stevie Nicks, Eagles, they're still doing things. But, as always, it's a who's who. It's just they seem to get, if they're touring for that year, somehow the Jazzfest has a budget. It's almost like it's a nonprofit or some kind of governmentally funded thing that can take a loss. It's like I don't know how they pull profit, especially in the ecosystem we're in of how expensive just putting on a festival is.
Right.
And it keeps going from there. Lord, nice to see. She's done very few dates in the last several years. Black Keys, David Byrne. I was getting whispers that the Talking Heads were doing an actual reunion. That's breaking rumors here on the show. I don't know if that's true or not, but David Byrne, Black Keys, and I won't go through the list because it's exhaustive. Alabama Shakes, Earth, Wind, and Fire. They're just kind of Lake Street Dive. Mavis, the Revivalists are kind of little feet. I mean, it bounces from very contemporary to not at all very quickly. So never done Jazzfest. Anytime I tell that to somebody who's a festival, I don't maybe not call them festival heads, but somebody who knows festivals that of the longevity of them, they're like, how have you never been to Jazzfest?
Yeah.
I can't go to all the cool things, Barry. I try, but I can't.
Yeah. It's one I'd like to, I think. And I think a lot of it is what you see in the bars or on the streets that aren't necessarily on the poster. That's what I've always been told. The music, they celebrate it, but
with Jazzfest, it's kind of like Mardi Gras with me over the years. It's like that. Yeah, those things sound fun, but you can go to New Orleans anytime and have yourself a hell of a time.
Right.
And I've been a couple times, and we've all been. Beth's been a couple times. We were just talking about it the other day. So certainly would like to do it one of these days, but I don't know. We'll see if it'll be this year or not. Probably not, but because it's in the spring as we're in our busy time as we're getting ready for the farm. But as far as festival stuff, the Minnesota Yacht Club thing looks pretty good up in Minnesota if you care of such things. And then Hangout / whatever it turned into last year, the shaky or sand in my boots and whatever, don't step on my boots fest or whatever it was called. They're officially closed up shop down there, it would appear, for the beach. The Orange Beach, Alabama Festival seems to be officially done. I don't have a lot of thoughts on that, as
Yeah.
I thought the sand in my where was a little annoying to begin with.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it just speaks to how tough it is to make these things happen every year, which is why what is happening with Bonnaroo is all the more interesting.
Sure.
Which we'll talk about again here later in more detail. But yeah, it's tough. It's expensive. So not surprised.
Well, Hangout had a nice run. Of course, they've been.
Yeah.
I didn't expect Hangout to come back. They'd kind of moved on from that concept. But I mean, you take two. Beth was kind of laughing at me, thought I was being silly on this one a minute ago before we got on here. But you take two very, very difficult places to navigate: a festival setting and a beach community, and then you put them together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never had a lot of interest in doing that, even though some of those early Hangout lineups were as good as anything the
Absolutely.
Southeast has ever seen. There was one year Foo Fighters and Paul Simon, and I mean, that's it. I'm going on memory, so that's not going to work from 15 years ago. But there was Paul Simon was the one that stuck out the most that year. But, hey, nothing lasts forever except for Bonnaroo. So far.
Exactly. Don't say that. You're going to jinx us again.
Yeah, this podcast. All right, let's take a break, and we will come back, and we will talk Bonnaroo. All right, so one of the things we want to do is we want to hear from Beth, who was not on the lineup reveal show. Kind of get your first impressions when you saw it, and now you've had a couple of weeks to live with it, and maybe get your take on some of the don't miss.
Real quick, Beth, before we jump right into that, tell them why you were not on the Bonnaroo, our show we did live.
Oh, I was in the comments of the live stream, but I was on my way to Seattle for a benefit with for KEXP with Jeff Tweedy and Mavis. So yeah, no, I had a good excuse.
Yeah,
and it was my birthday.
Yeah.
I was
Your
on. I was
excuse.
going
And it was her birthday. That's right.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
we
yeah,
should have said in the introductions too that not only has Beth been to Bonnaroo since 2004, you are the photographer for a venue in where you live in Washington State, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
you see a lot of these bands. You attend a lot of shows, so it's not just not that it would matter. You can have your opinions too, but you see a lot of them. So,
Yeah.
what was your thought when you saw the lineup?
It was about what I expected, because I thought that they wouldn't be spending a lot of money on the headliners. I am actually curious about the survey, whether people said that they wanted better undercard than headliners, because I think that's kind of reflected here. That might have been the vote, is that people didn't want them to spend the money on the big name headliners, because I know I said that. So I can't really complain about the headliners, because I did say I would rather have a robust undercard. I don't think the headliners are really headliners, with that said. They're not not huge. We also just watched the Lilith Fair documentary, about the history of the Lilith Fair, which is great. I definitely recommend that. And
on Hulu.
On Hulu. And I didn't notice until we watched that documentary, which I should have, and this is a problem. But I didn't notice 11 headliners on the top line, one female artist out of 11. So I think that's kind of an issue. I would like to see a few more. The undercard's really good, though, on a lot of female artists. There's a lot I like. I really like EDM. So I would say it's about 75% EDM, maybe. I made a playlist with one from each person. I'm missing 3 somehow, but there are 100 people, 97 on the playlist. And it's it's probably the easiest playlist to put together I've ever made, because so much of the music is kind of similar. It goes in together really well. I want more wild cards. So I'm not complaining, because there's a lot to like on here. Definitely excited about Turnstile, Amyl and the Sniffers. I've seen Wet Leg before, so I'm excited.
What
to
am I
going to
see at that? Because that's one of my that's way up on my must see.
Hold
I'm
that
fascinated
thought, Beth.
by them.
Yeah.
Barry, we on our way back from Portugal. Caverns is an hour from where we live, roughly, and we put on Wet Leg on the way back for an hour. You're gonna like it. You are. I think anybody who likes music that has guitars in it all is gonna like it. I knew like one song, and I enjoyed it very, very much.
Oh, I like the music. It's the show I'm curious about.
Show is great.
Because I'm still trying to figure out what the shoulder pads were all about on their tiny desk.
That I don't know.
Yeah, I saw them a few years ago. I sort of shot them. So my local festival that was very local in my town, but had moved to, closer to Seattle. A lot of people on this lineup were at my really small local festival a couple years ago. Which, by the way, is also taking a year off. So in festival news, there's another one that tried to pivot, do weekends one day, like one Saturday for a month. It didn't work. So, but anyway, I saw Wet Leg at that festival. They have really strong stage presence. They're very energetic, and their style has changed in the last couple of years.
Yeah, that's what I noticed, and that's why I'm really curious. I mean, obviously, but Shay's Lounge was what put them on the map, and so since then, it's like, oh, let's watch another YouTube video. And I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yep.
Shoulder pads.
Yeah, and
How do we
I
get
have
from here to there.
Yeah, I have a video and I have a couple photos, which maybe we'll show from when I saw them a couple years ago, where they're wearing full dresses and combat boots.
Yeah.
So, the style has changed a little bit, but I think it was always, you see her doing almost a full back bend, holding the microphone up. So that was always, the seeds were there for sure.
Well, since we're talking about, obviously, they're a female duo, going back to what you said, we've had this conversation since it was sort of pointed out, what was it, who was going to be the first female back, and then COVID hit, and it was a big deal. First female headliner.
Lizzo.
Lizzo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Saturday night, Lizzo was scheduled for that 2020, right?
I think.
2020.
And it was one of those that I don't. Did they intentionally not have a female, or they just couldn't? There wasn't a female headliner available. Do you buy that, I guess what I'm trying to say is, should there be? Do you put a female on there just to have a female on the lineup, or do you pick best available, or do you? Where do you think they fall on that? I know we've talked to Brian Benson and Steven about that. I think their answer is we choose best available. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I think that's a problem. I think there are a lot of great female artists available. So I don't think you put somebody on just for representation or just because you should. But even looking at some of the undercard, there's some people that could be headliners comparatively that aren't in that slot. So I think it would be pretty easy to have more women, more great female artists on this lineup.
All right. Who are some of the other people that you're going to recommend to the three of us Luddites that we should check out?
Well, I'm a big Grizz fan. So Grizz I think deserves to be up there, deserves to be on the headline list because he's really has a long relationship with the farm and has put in the work and draws the crowd. And so I'm really happy about that. Let's see what I've been listening to Blood Orange lately. Really like that. Listened to Wednesday last night. Dora Jar was really good. There's a lot of stuff that is kind of singer-songwriter that I really like to listen to, but it's always different what I plan to shoot versus what I would like to listen to in my normal life. So kind of the sleepier ones will probably sound great in a tent in the afternoon, but I may not end up seeing them because they're not going to be so much fun to shoot. So I'm going for, there are a lot of kind of punk bands that'll be really energetic. I saw Freddie Gibbs and the Alchemist at or I guess he doesn't have Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist in the festival I was just talking about. Another person I don't really love just listening to because it's just kind of really hard driving rap, but I love watching live. So that was a great live show. I think that's going to do really well on the farm. There's actually some good hip hop. I was expecting, I didn't bring my bingo card, but I made a bingo card and got almost everything checked off on the bingo card. And I thought they would have one hip hop artist non-headliner, which is pretty much what happened. But Lil Jon's going to be really fun. That's kind of the same Nelly spot, slash T-Pain spot. So I think that'll do well. Really happy to see Trombone Shorty back. I think it was good that they did a nod to the history of Bonnaroo with Trombone Shorty, who used to be there all the time. Blues Traveler I've seen a million times, but happy to see them back on the farm. I'll be really glad to see them there. Because it's just one thing that I have about the lineup, and EDM has a lot of different branches. So although there are so many EDM artists, they're also different. And you can really get into those subgenres and the parts of EDM. But I think that they're not giving the EDM crowd enough credit because this music is made up of a lot of different types of music. So I think you can push that audience further and give them different types of bands, and they will enjoy it at this festival.
And by give them credit, the EDM audience is that the credit that they will branch outside of just EDM. I when you first said that when we were talking, the other week, I thought, wait, what do you mean by that exactly? Because I do think that there tends to be this preconceived opinion of sorts that EDM fans only want EDM.
Yeah, they only want bass, or they only want house, or
they're not going to be happy,
Yeah.
and they might not patron you. And I think, and the only reason I've put any extra thought into this is because this really does kind of correlate with the 20 some odd years ago of the jam band explosion. And it was the same kind of thing. It felt like, well, the jam fan, the Panic fan, the Fish fan, the String Cheese fan, that's all they like.
Right.
They don't want to hear the Black Keys or maybe even Jack White or something, White Stripes or something that was more. I'm trying to think of things that were popular back then.
Sure.
I feel like that was more accurate potentially because the jam band community were insufferable. I was part of it. So I thought that was an interesting take, and I'm not entirely sure I agree with it because I don't know enough, right? Like I don't know the ethos enough. I would default to, EDM. You better give them all of it, or they might not show up. And I know Beth's thought is that they can be pushed and do want to be.
Yeah,
I think that's an interesting thought.
Yeah. Well, I think that's been, for me, as like I said, someone who's been basically going since the beginning, and as someone who's been covering music for 42 years, one of the things that I've always given Bonnaroo credit for is this idea of discovery, which is what we do here. That the fans have changed, and that now they want to discover. 25 years ago, if it wasn't on the radio for a lot of people, they weren't going to listen to it. And then you had your jam band, they were the sort of outlier. It was cool to not be listening to top 40 radio. So I'm into but then it has begun to shift where, I've said many, many times, my favorite t-shirt that I saw was, I'm into bands that don't exist yet. At Bonnaroo. That's become the attitude, right? I want to find something that I've never heard of. And I don't care what genre it's in,
Well, because you look at those first 3 years, 2, 3, and 4. 4 was starting to stray, but 2 and 3 not at all. There wasn't a thing on that lineup except for a jam band.
Right.
Not a thing. There wasn't any discovery other than a jam band you've never heard of.
And that was intentional because they were hippies and they'd sleep in the field.
It was intentional, and then it didn't take long. It didn't take long for them to realize that that's not going to work long term. And I guess I'm kind of making this up as I go here, but I'm a little concerned. I mean, when Beth uses the number 75%, we'll call it 2/3, call it whatever you want.
I don't know exactly.
But a very large number of this is EDM. This isn't an EDM festival. Let's not turn it into one.
Right.
You had a jam band festival, and you realize not a good idea to focus on one thing. It's a really good idea to become the most unique brand potentially in the world by doing what you just described, Barry. Eventually that happened in the mid-aughts and then certainly into the early teens. That's what it was all about. It feels like I don't know. I'm not trying to be I hate the lineup guy, even though I'm not a fan of the lineup this year. I'll find discovery and I'll start working on it in January. I plan on putting a lot of effort into that. I'm worried that there might be leaning on that too much and not following the advice of Beth. Not that anybody asked any of us, but that give these guys, these people, the EDM crowd credit. They might want to see Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
They might want to see Noah Khan, which they're going to get the chance here. So that's the only thing I'd be concerned is there are EDM festivals, guys. You don't need to be one too. Those already exist. You're not the copycat festival. You're the trendsetters.
No.
Sorry, I'm not trying to sound angry. I'm not mad.
No. I along with that shift in discovery, the folks who book it and the festival planners, they realized they needed to up their camping game, which, as we've noted, they've done.
Yes.
With all the VIP experiences and the a la carte ticket buying options. We saw another video that came out this week about improvements on the farm. But we've noted how that makes a big difference to the experience of the bathrooms and all of those sorts of things. So they put a lot of money into that. This lineup feels like, I guess what I was trying to say is the efforts seems to have been on the infrastructure, which obviously was a hot topic because we got rained out last year and 3 times in 6 years through no fault of anybody. But obviously they've made those efforts. So
yeah, I think a lot of that's optics, but optics is part of branding, and optics is part of how you sell your brand going forward. And I think that's fine for them to do. I already got somebody. I said the other day, I was like, well, it's not going to rain like that again. And this comment section was like, would he shut up already? It's jinxing everything we do. So I won't go there. But I think the farm's going to be just fine in June of 26. Quickly, as far as the lineup goes, and we've been just sampling a little bit here this past week before I do my deeper dives and playlists coming into January. Geese. Having a little trouble with Geese. I don't know if I was a little tainted because she kind of told me I don't really know what's going on with this band, and then I watch them like I don't know either. But we're trying to figure Geese out, so I don't know what they are just yet. But
yeah, Corey, I think when he was on with us talking about the survey, said that they heard from people that they wanted more guitars, and so they've added that. That tried to add that element to the lineup.
Yeah, I heard that. I'm still looking for those guitars. Kind of looking
I was
around.
going to ask.
Haven't found a lot of those guitars.
Have you found any of the guitars?
Well, I found a really weird sounding one in the band Geese. It could be a careful what you wish for. You might get some weird guitars. I'm not trying to be a hater just yet. They're also very young. Geese, I didn't realize this till Beth pointed it out. I mean, they were graduating high school. What'd you say? 5 years ago, COVID year, they were graduating. So I mean, they're 24 years old, maybe 23. So they're still figuring themselves out. But yeah, I'm still looking for those guitars, and I'll find them. But to be fair, absolutely to be fair, I have purposely not done any of my discovery yet. I mean, I don't usually. until it gets closer to the spring, and we got such an early drop this year. So I'll find those guitars, and I'll be happy as a peach when I find them.
Well, let me start you out with one. Villanelle on the last line on Thursday. That's, from what I understand, that's Liam Gallagher's son, right?
Yeah. And they have 2 songs.
Yeah, they have 2 songs. So not sure what
2
They
songs.
don't even have an album yet. It looks like from brief research, they have 2 songs.
As far, she told me about that because she knew I'd be Liam Gallagher, his son. Fine. And then we listened to it. It sounds like some English sloppy garage band noise, and I'm here for it. But they're brand new. Speaking of young kids. So
nice.
Happy to see that.
I just want to. I'm not complaining about the lineup. I just want to make that clear. I mentioned
that's me, not her.
That's Brian doing that. I'm just kind of pointing out that I think that it doesn't have to be as much EDM. I think they're saying, oh, let's give everybody what they want, and I really think you can push the EDM audience a little bit farther and give more variety. So I was kind of hoping for another niche kind of band that draws a wacky crowd, like sort of the Guar, Korn, ICP. We have Weird Al, which I'm really excited about because I've never seen Weird Al. So we've got that, but I would have loved to see kind of a subculture band like that here. Yeah. But there's a lot to like. I'm pretty happy with everything that I'm listening to.
Yeah, that's me. And recommendations from people who listen to this show, I've pretty much everybody that people have recommended I've liked. Buffalo Traffic Jam I've listened to quite a bit. Turnstile I knew a little bit about, but listening to a lot more. That's going to be a good show.
Yeah.
Just thrilled to see Flip turn back on the lineup. So
I think all 4 turns. So you've got
all the turns.
I like Turnover. Turnover is really good, and then Turn Down for What also. So we got 4 turns that I'm gonna make sure that I see all 4 of those.
Yeah, and as far as one note I made to myself is I'm not gonna die on the hill of that tent being moved.
That was what I was gonna ask earlier. Yeah, you've had more time to think about that. What do you think?
I still hate it. I'm just not going to die on the hill. The hill they moved or another hill. I'm not going to die on the hill. I hate it aesthetically. More than anything, aesthetically, I don't like it. Don't mess with my what field. Don't mess with my what stage. But I do understand that from what I'm gathering. I don't understand from experience because I haven't been close enough to. But I guess the other and that are having bleed issues. But if we really cared about bleed issues, then this and which would have been addressed a long time ago. Because if you've got acts that are different in volume, and those stages are always going at the same time, this tent and which have bleed all day, and can be a problem. It's not so bad that it ruins the show for either, but there are bleed problems. So it feels like they're doing stuff just for the sake of doing things. That's okay. I'm not going to die on the hill.
Yeah, I remember now. You had not heard the explanation when we did the thing 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
we didn't give away their answer. Yeah. The trees, growing, and the road, and all of that.
The getting in the back load, the load in, load out. Yeah.
I think that's my take. The more I think about it, and the more I've heard, it makes a lot of sense. And that was only going to get worse.
Yeah, Beth pointed this out though, is that they're saying that some of these artists are bigger, the bigger productions, so it's more trucks rather than bands.
Right.
Except it doesn't feel like this lineup has that.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
So Noah Khan, is not on the tent stage this year. So anyway, I it's fine. I thought that tent was in a very, very good position place. It was very easy to get to, very, kind of that why. You walk this way to the which, you go this way to the what, and it's a very easy, I don't know. But it's changed, Barry. You know how we are with this stuff.
Yeah, I think...
Don't mess with my festival.
I mean, I'm thinking, John Prine in there was great, but there was only about 40 of us in the audience at one point. But then some of the others where it's bleeding out and you can't even, you can't see, you can't find a place to even see. So I kind of get it both ways.
The
I will
late
say
night on that. Sorry, real quick. The late night on that though makes all the sense in the world. Like late night, that tent and the what's pretty much it's now closed. Now you got the whole field to spread out. That will work. That will work fundamentally. Yeah.
That's where I was going to go. Is kind of it all depends on how it works. With the change when we see it in the field there. So
yeah. So
Speaking
I'm
of
gonna let it
changes-
play out, and then I'll have my more thoughts on it in 7 months from now.
there you go.
Speaking of changes, yeah, let's play this video that they put out. Another Justin video with Dale.
The expansion of the internal road system will include over 1 million square feet of gravel roads.
People will be able to get in and out better, experience as far as walking around the event to get from place to place will be a whole lot better.
Expansion of the road system is going to significantly help our camping experience by getting fans in and out of the site more efficiently, while at the same time providing a more robust road system for our fan services.
There you go.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's good. Getting those walkways in better shape is. I don't think that is optics. I think that's a good infrastructure improvement. I do.
Absolutely. And speaking of videos, I don't know if you have any of this ramped up, Russ, or even the link, but they released Bonnaroo 2002, some of the early footage, and I had not seen any of that really.
Yeah, that came in our inbox for what's his name?
Yeah,
Russ?
this-
Fake Matt.
Fake Matt. Yeah, this
That's
was
a
not
great name
released.
for some reason. I laughed. Fake Matt.
Yeah, this was not released. This was him basically preserving this Bonnaroo 2002 DVD, which is I've looked for it and you cannot find it. At least not for $50 or $100 or less than that.
I have it.
He's got a copy.
Nice.
You have it?
Yeah, I have it. We can copy it maybe or something. We'll do whatever.
This
I don't
whole
know. I
time
have
you've had it. I didn't think it was available anywhere. And this guy, Fake Matt, emailed us and said he put a copy up on archive.org, which you can download, which I did. And then he's also kind of put some of the clips of not the performances, but like the segments they did in between on the DVD. So you get, shots of, people waiting in line. Like you said, Barry, the traffic jam. People were waiting on the interstate 12, 18 hours just to get in. Yeah. And then, and they finally let people in and opened the gates up. There was somebody whose car caught on fire.
So you guys are just sitting there, and then what?
We pull in and then it fucking burst into flames, I guess. Oh, shit. Well, fuck it. I'm not going to let it ruin my time.
But pretty interesting, the interviews they did with a lot of the fans and
early
to
news
see those
clips.
early days, early news clips, early interviews with people we know, like Jonathan Mayers and Ashley Capps.
Ashley,
They're in
yeah.
there. Pretty fascinating look back. I mean, it's almost like a time capsule.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what
I thought that. I mean, I thought I had every Bonnaroo DVD too. And I thought I had the 2002 one, and this seemed to be a lot more. Almost felt like a lot of B-roll. I'm not sure if I think some of this stuff might not have made some of those DVDs. I'm not. Either way, it's really, really fun stuff to take a look at. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some of what I saw it confirmed, reiterated, everything that we've been told and been talking about. Ashley has said, for example, from the beginning that the whole hippie fest, people complain, like you mentioned earlier, Brian, at year 3 and 4 when it shifted from the jam band. It was never intended to be a jam band festival every single year. They did it because they needed people that would camp.
Yeah, well, they needed they needed a proof of concept.
Correct, right.
That a festival would work. So let's go where the well is the deepest. Fish was having those just massively attended camping festivals down in Florida and up in the Northeast, and they basically copied that model to a certain degree. I don't know what they were thinking in that moment. Will we be doing this 20 years later? But yeah, let's start where we know it'll work. And
sure,
it certainly did.
Sure.
Final thoughts from your just initial look there, Beth, because I'm still waiting for I dive too much, other than what Beth tells me to listen to.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing what they know is going to work now. So I think they know that if they put a lot of EDM artists on there, and I was also thinking that part of the rise of EDM as a festival thing is that you are so far away from the stages at festivals now that it has to become more about the interaction in the crowd than about what's going on stage. So I think that that's been the shift because these festivals are so massive. It becomes about people's outfits and people's totems and people connecting with each other through dancing, So it's not as much focused on what's happening on stage, although some of them have pyro and lights and all the cool stuff going on too. So I think this makes sense, and this is just a thing that's happening this year. Out of all of, I really like house, so I like Baby No Money, Side Piece. Trying to think of the other. I listen to some Sarah Landry. I'm glad that she's on this lineup, but she's like really hard techno, so kind of a little farther than I usually go. I used to listen to Venom, and it was kind of like that, just constant kind of driving hard.
Yeah, Sarah
stuff.
Landry. I went to a high school with a girl named Sarah Landry, so when I saw she was at Cave Fest, Sarah Landry. What the hell is this?
She's done well at the Caverns.
Caverns, Cave Fest. Not Cave Fest. Sorry, at the Caverns, sold out two hard sellouts just recently. So that grabbed my attention. If this means anything, I know it will to you. Talk a little bit, maybe to you, Barry, too. But like '90s techno kind of dance rave.
Yeah,
that's what Sarah Landry is. Far more like. She's in her mid 30s plus or so. So if you like that kind of thing, it's a little bit of a throwback. Almost, if she had maybe more popularity over the years, a legacy type act. Almost. Yeah. But anyway, there's my insights into dance.
All right, mark it down, book it.
Wow.
All right, 3 more people. Youngblood for sure. I'm really excited. Youngblood's going to be there. I listen to Trixie Mattel singing, and I love it. But Trixie Mattel is going to be DJing, so we may not get to listen to actual singing. And there was one other. Oh, I actually really liked Amble too. Amble's kind of like Irish folk music, which is the type of thing that I love to listen to. May not want to shoot. So,
and one thing quickly about things people might be talking about online in the threads and stuff. Youngblood was moved up to that top line.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think deservedly so. I know that there are going to be complaints, but he had a really good explanation for why he deserved to be on that line.
It was on the second line because I have the original printout still right here, and it was on the second line right next to our new favorite band, Geese. If Geese and Youngblood are anywhere near the same caliber, I hope not anyway. So I just thought that was an interesting topic of discussion that it was bumped up to the top line of a headliner line.
Well, what was the explanation?
Just the number. I can't remember. I was talking to Tara Veland about this yesterday. They made a statement. Number of just numbers of
streams
has
and all that
collaborated
stuff.
with a lot of people. Recently collaborated with Aerosmith. Has collaborated with a lot of really big name artists, and is, I guess, well known enough in the United States that compared to these other lines, I think the case is definitely there for being a headliner.
Maybe they saw their name next to Geese and said, Bonnaroo, what the hell? Who do you think we are?
Yeah. Well, I have to say one of the bands or acts that I'm really going to have to check out is Teddy Swims, and that is because Jake on the Ruham guys was almost violent in his hate for this.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yes.
Interesting.
You're my guy, Jake. You're my guy.
I recommend go listen to that because it's kind of one of those, well, now I'm interested. Because he hates it so much.
Well, especially because last year we were supposed to have Barry Can't Swim, and this year we have Teddy Swims.
Teddy Swims.
Here's what I need. I need bands to get a little more creative with their names, all right? If 3 other bands got Turn in their name, don't get a different name. Sorry. There's my little mini rant.
I just had to mention that.
Teddy Swims. That is a dumb name, too. Jake, I'm with you.
he was like, he's talking about not even going when he saw it on the lineup.
Now,
That's how much he hates it.
This guy like me is just hyperbole his whole life.
Not typically, but man, he went full Brian Stone on this.
I have heard a lot of great things about Teddy Swims, a lot. But I also hear a lot of great things about bands I don't like all the time. So,
Yeah.
I'm still excited about everything. I know that Discovery will get me really good when I decide to truly put my effort into it later into early next year. So.
All right, well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the unbelievable number of contest entries that we have gotten. It's going to be a tough choice, guys, but let's talk about that when we get back. All right, if the number of contest entries means anything, people are excited about Bonnaroo 2026. That's my initial take after, 10 days of this since we announced that we're doing this. I mean, the numbers of entries is pretty amazing, wouldn't you say, Russ?
Yeah, more than we've ever had at this point in the contest, for sure.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Barry. You'll get this. It was 20 some odd years ago where I can't remember who I was dealing with, but it was one of those doing radio show stuff, and like, is anybody listening? It feels like nobody's listening. Like, well, let's give away something real quick. I'll show you. And then it's like, hey, we got tickets to the dog show or something, and it's like bing, 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 like fax machine, email, like, all right, they're out there.
Yeah, they're there.
That's good. So thank you, guys.
I'm trying. I mean, I think I've read most all of them, if not all, or listened, and trying to look for a theme. If anything, there's a lot of people, obviously, who were disappointed that last year got cut short.
Yeah.
A lot of people who want to return. A lot of people who last year was their first time, and it got cut short. So there's
that's
a
like
lot
the
of
worst story, isn't it? The one that they got there was their first time ever, and they couldn't wait, and then it gets cut short. And then some of those stories are, and I got there Thursday night.
Yeah,
it's like, oh god.
Yeah, there's so many of those.
Another theme that I picked up on, I don't know if you noticed this, there's a lot of people that aren't necessarily trying to win tickets for themselves. They want to win it for their wife, their significant other, their son, their brother, just somebody. They're not even trying to get them for themselves. They're trying to make a Bonnaroo happen for somebody else that they know that either got cut short last year or have never been.
Maybe their friends striking. And they've heard about it and they want them to experience, or like you said, some of them are heartbreaking. For family members who just need to get away. I won't get into specific names, but there's a couple of those where like, this is for a family member who's got dealing with a whole lot and could sure use 4 or 5 days of radiating positivity on the farm. So got a lot of those.
You wish we had 100 tickets to give away.
Yeah, I joked when I said this, it sounds like a good idea now, and then when we have to choose in a couple weeks or months, it's going to suck. And along those lines, because we've gotten so many, I don't know when we'll choose them. I don't want to drag this thing on 3 and 4 months. That seems sort of cruel to people who have entered and are wanting to do something. So you guys may feel differently, but I don't know when we'll choose, but I don't think it's going to be 3-4 months from now. That just seems, like I said, cruel.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
well, I mean, just based on the number that we've gotten, and there's still time if you want to submit an entry. We are asking you to either call us 423-667-7877, leave a voicemail, a short voicemail, explaining why you think you should win. You can also go to thewhat.co/win for all these details, and there's a place you can send us an email, comments at thewhatpodcast.com. You can send us a video if you want to record yourself, which we have gotten a few video entries. So, there's multiple ways to do this. Somebody has been calling our voicemail line every single day. Just kind of like, catching up. Like, hey, here's what I did today. Just thought I would call. And so,
Love it.
We're your own personal therapy service, voicemail service.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just to give you sort of an example, we've asked people to, be clever. Andrea sent us a bunch of haikus that she wrote.
Oh, yeah.
See? I think that's the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like haikus? Here's a few. What, which, this, that, other, the fountain and Ferris wheel. Bees at the big stage. That's one. Wet Leg and Weird Al. San Holo.
Real quick, help
mumbling.
me remember a haiku. The 5-4. What is it?
5-7-5.
It's a classic one. But
5-7-5. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Wet Leg and Weird Al. San Holo. Tosh Sultana. Kesha Super Jam. Peace, love, unity, respect. Don't be that guy. Be cool, man. Leave no trace or trash. So thank you, Andrea. That's just a couple of them. And kind of an example of the type of entries that we're getting.
Here's one I want to play real quick because this is a video that was submitted. Someone, she 3D modeled her entire campsite. I don't know why.
Wow.
Let's see if we
I'm
can...
interested. I'm looking forward to this.
I mean, it looks like, there's this whole tent set up. They've got, several different canopies set up. There's tapestries.
Alice in Wonderland going on in there.
Alice in Wonderland poster, tapestry. There's cots. There's fans. There's coolers. I mean, this is...
Wow.
This is
everything.
cool.
This is really cool, yeah.
Unicorns. I mean, if that's
got some
the
air
actual what
mattresses.
the bedroom looks like, that's incredible.
Looks like the things we talked about, the pantry things you'd hang in your a shoe rack from your closet for your pantry. That's hanging up here. You got lights. You got curtains. You got camping stove.
I'm moving.
Can we come hang out with you?
Yeah.
Please.
Nice spot too. Right next to the.
Well, now I'm
Ferris wheel.
curious. Did she do that for the contest, or you think she just does that because that's what?
Well,
she's cool.
She sent a follow-up video too.
Cool like that.
Well, I'll let her explain.
Hi, I'm Angie, and I wanted to submit a second video just to prove to you guys that I am the one who made and owns that 3D model, because I did post it to Reddit. And so if somebody else had the idea to steal my video and submit it for the free ticket contest before I had that idea, I just wanted to make sure that you guys know.
Welcome to the shit show.
That I'm the one. I'm the one who made it. And I'm giving these tapestries as proof. They match the model.
Welcome to the shit show.
Well,
detail. Yeah.
Well done. That's awesome.
Well, yeah. So don't steal other people's work and send it to enter the contest. Thank you, Angie. We believe you. And that's definitely one of the more unique ones that I've seen. I don't know about you guys.
Absolutely.
If I didn't have a girlfriend, I'd be like, where's she from? She leave a number in that voicemail?
She did.
She clearly really likes camping though, so that might be an issue.
Yeah, it'd be a deal breaker.
I don't know.
That's funny. That is really cool, though. All jokes aside, that is really, really neat, Angie. Thank you.
All right. So those are just some of them. I think we will probably dedicate a larger portion of future shows to all of these entries. And
I'll call to action you guys on the recommendations as we get going down the road too, because that's always a big help. I found Chapel Roan primarily because of someone calling this show and saying you should listen to this. So
exactly,
we'll do that down the road too.
Well, like I said, I think the two bigger points, as we mentioned, are the numbers, the fact that there is a lot of interest. I mean, that's how I'm interpreting this. It's all been really positive. I don't think we've gotten many emails or comments or anything, saying I'm not going, it's a terrible lineup type of thing. It's, how do I get back on the farm? And as Brian said, obviously last year was devastating. So to see this much energy and positivity, people want to get back, I think is a good thing. So
love it.
All right. Well, thanks guys. We'll be back next week.